Peace, everyone. My method of healing. First, let me thank the Almighty for forcing me to lay down in green pastures. God commanded me to sit on my hands and not create. But this day I have been granted permission to share. Today, after contemplation and being in the zone of receiving guidance to speak, I answer the question, what happens before I offer healing to anyone? What does my process look like? Well, here it is. Again, you are listening to Minister Dr. Cynthia Marie Whitley, sometimes known as Emo Gershona or Mother Gershona. As I counsel individuals, although I am as a self-realization author, I have no physical products at all that I use, and there is not one book to say I rely on, although I've learned the Holy Scriptures, both the First and Second Testament, extensively. I've questioned too many aspects of the sacred text to be accepted as a conventional minister. But there was always a greater spirit working in the background of my life before I even opened a book. I've felt connected to Source from a youth without being a churchgoer. I've always had conversations as though God was talking directly to me. When it thundered and lightning, I believed and felt that God was talking to me personally. I would answer by telling God that I would behave. I'm going to behave, Most High, without knowing what I did wrong. I'm not sure where the fear came from, but I know I was afraid of the children's prayer I was forced to repeat as a child. Now I lay me down to sleep. I pray the Lord my soul to keep. If I should die before I wake, I pray the Lord my soul to take. What? No wonder I was scared to death. I was going to not wake up from my sleep because surely I misbehaved as a child and got spankings or even pinched for talking back to my parents. And as for those whose energy is dark, when I am asked, am I afraid of their energy, this is what I do. I stay in prayer for myself and ask for God's shield or hedge. And at that point, I know that God's protection is present. It is supplied because I ask. This is done continuously as I grow or evolve. For me, communing with the Most High is a way of life that I must continually come back to because I forget at times and begin to doubt His presence. Conversations with Spirit have followed me into my adulthood. I've always known that all my prayers are answered, down to a pair of shoes and a few chosen pieces of clothing as a teen. And I know it now as an adult too, T-O-O. Yes, thoughts may become static at times and I may lose my way, but while staying in communication with the unseen spirit, the static was and is still clearing as I come before the elements on this earth, including the Atlantic Ocean and sand and all beings that I interact with in my universe. There is constant acknowledgement, communication, and heart-to-heart, deep-to-deep communion where I consort, even reason with God in my heart. And I pray that this never ceases. I pray to be in fellowship with like spirit, knowing that a group of sincere healers was waiting for me to join forces with them for the good of all those who are seeking healing. There was no doubt in my mind that my prayer would be answered. Yes, there is a healing going on. Oh, there's There's a healing going on in 2024 globally, and I open my heart and mind and accept my role as a healer. I am a willing participant, and I desire to serve and uplift anyone who has forgotten that peace, love, healing, and wisdom of self lives within them. In fact, it is our very essence. I believe we all have different paths of offering healing to another. And most of all, I wholeheartedly believe that our energy is God's energy. My inner knowing says that we would not exist if the pulse of God did not pulsate through our bodies. We would not breathe if the breath of God is disengaged from our bodies. So when it is time to reach out and touch another individual, offering healing, first I prepare my energy by meditating beforehand. I find my sacred space with the Creator. As a new practitioner of Reiki, I find terms that are interchangeable with what I have been learning throughout the years, like loving energy. I ground myself and I ask the Most High to send his loving energy through me and direct me on what to say. And if my ego shows up, or if I get distracted, I bring myself back and repeat my prayer again to Spirit. I pray, speak through me, loving energy. What would you have me say to whoever is before me seeking validation in their life? What would you like me to say to this person's highest self? If I keep hearing the same message, I know that this is what I am to convey. Peace and healing to you all.